Giving me an up-close and personal view. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the JoAnne Powell Show. I'm JoAnne. We're coming to you from the World Center of Broadcast Media, WCOBM.TV, Hollywood. We've been talking about the traumatic suicide bombing incident that happened in Manchester, England, and there are people across the country who are traumatized by what happened. There have been more than 20 people who are dead as a result of this suicide bombing, and dozens are injured. You have the physical scars, but we were also talking about the emotional toll that all this has taken on people, not just in the United Kingdom, but from people across the country. And here in the United States, people are very concerned about what's going on. Definitely whenever you have a situation like this, people are beefing up security in the United States. You have people that are beefing up security at public venues that are considered to be soft targets. And they're also calling for people to be vigilant. And basically, if you see something, say something. We're going to be talking a little bit about the profile of what is considered to be the profile of a suicide bomber. Joining me now to take a look at and talk about the psychological impact this has on people and just the psyche of someone that would do something like that. Joining me now is Dr. Cynthia Powell, and who is a psychologist, and seated next to her is Joyce Forrest, who is a social worker. Thanks both of you for joining me on the show today.
Pleasure's all mine. Thanks for having us.
Yes. Well, I'm going to go over some of the, I guess, the profile of what security experts are kind of saying is the MO of a suicide bomber. Here are some of the things. They're usually young men. They'll look nervous. Many times they'll be sweating profusely, looking around fervently, carrying a backpack or wearing bulky clothing or clothing that is not typical for that time of the year. I guess if it's in the summer, they'll have a coat on, bulky clothing. They will have put their hands in their pockets in and out often. A lot of times they'll wear a baseball cap or some type of headwear to obscure their face from any closed circuit television. I guess, they want to be under the radar, but yet they are in the process of doing something. Of course, we saw situations with, when you have bombings where people, if they know what to look for, might be able to stop something or report something. Like I was saying before, if you see something, say something. Let's talk a little bit about this profile. When you are thinking about those that are usually involved with these suicide bombings, it's kind of a religious movement for them, so they have that component to it. And a lot of them are kind of committed to doing this. So it kind of struck me a little interesting that they would be profusely nervous and sweating and things like that when this is something that they've signed up to do. I mean, most people would be very uncomfortable with this, but I guess even those that have signed on for it are not comfortable with what's going on. So that's kind of a telltale of something that might come along that.
Yeah, you really described probably 50% of the adolescents that I see. So, they all wear backpacks, the hats,
Yeah.
they kind of overdress. That's kind of that cool style. Sometimes they have the saggy pants, saggy clothes, multiple layers of clothes. That's their kind of fashion statement. But definitely, if someone's looking shifty or shaky or uncomfortable in their skin, so to speak, you know that you need to be on heightened alert. Not that they're going to blow you up or anything, but you know that they're not feeling comfortable, so you don't know exactly what they're doing. And as you well know, we just had a shooter at one of our local schools, and he came in well dressed, and you just don't know. People have different things that are going on in their lives. Lots of times these guys are young. Well, they also have young ladies, and they're detached from their family and from the regular community that they are used to being with, and they're being attached with almost like with ISIS, with a
radical
type of Yeah, a radical group, thanks. And they will do whatever the leader is telling them to do. You know, they say if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So they are getting a whole different type of brainwashing and rewiring psychologically, that they don't mind dying for the cause.
Well, that's what, I think in the United States, a lot of people, it's hard for them to wrap their head around that that thought process, because for most Americans, they're not going to sacrifice their life like that for suicide bombers. But you find a lot of people from different cultures, it's kind of an expected type of warfare with like if you're a soldier, kind of.
Correct, because even in the Vietnam War, they were utilizing children, they were utilizing toys, they were utilizing cars, that they would just roll into certain areas. So they just want the wow effect. They also want people to stop their day-to-day type activities, that they become paralyzed, they're too afraid to get out and do things. And they're trying to make a major statement.
That is true, because in this particular case, people are wondering, why an event that was mostly women and children, are you trying to make a bigger splash because it's such a, they're vulnerable, the vulnerable part of the community. What are your thoughts about that, the impact on focusing on children?
Children, that's the target is usually harder for children to process these type of events. So the impact is a little bit harder, because sometimes you can't get into the minds. If you don't know what they're thinking, it's harder for you to help them. So it's important that, like you said, if you see something, say something. And a lot of times caregivers and parents, and when you're with small kids, you don't have time, you're not looking, you're dealing with the children and the events of whatever you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis, and you're not really paying attention. So it can impact the children. So you have to be vigilant on what's going on and watching, because it can happen on our soil. It's possible, and we have to look at it. It may not be Americans, it could be Americans, sometimes it is. So we just have to be vigilant and watch what's going on.
Also, we need to be aware of children are taking our lead. So if they see that we're out of control and we're hyper and very excitable, they're going to be doing the same thing. And the one thing that I thought was really good, they had on the loudspeaker at the arena, stay calm, stay calm. I don't know how in the world anybody did, but they did. And they were saying you don't have to run out of the arena. The arena is safe. Don't know how they knew that, but it sounded good at least. And then lots of times, our children, they play those little games. I'm going to date myself, Pac-Man, whatever these other little games are. They see people getting shot, they fall down and they get up. So some of them may not have really been in the here and now and really understanding the impact until they went home and got to safety, and then the parents explained more. But the main thing is just keep the lines of communications open, because even watching it on the news, you reenact, you'll have the nightmares, you'll have the conversations, and I really appreciate you opening up this conversation to all of us today, to making us more aware.
And it's important to practice disaster. I mean, we don't want it to happen, but you have to be ready. I have parents and caregivers, they have to have emergency kits, water, blankets, flashlight, batteries, just things in water, food, extra food, and just be ready. Have it in a safe place that you can move it if it has to be moved. Just be ready. Hopefully it does not happen, but be ready. Yes.
Especially living in Southern California, we have earthquakes. I mean, it's not just, be from other people, but just to be prepared in general. But I think the big takeaway from an event like this is the key component is to try not to let this change your life too much. I mean, it's going to impact you, but you have to continue through your daily events and activities without being terrorized, because a lot of times the terror is a psychological mindset, so that people don't feel comfortable having a good time in their life by going to concerts or using public transportation or just doing things that they normally would do.
Correct. We don't want to be paralyzed, but we do want to be aware of our surroundings and who's close to us. And, stranger danger, just practice that like we teach the children all the time, just be aware, especially in large crowds. And like you're saying, the soft targets, I won't mention my targets because I don't want others to know where I go.
Yeah, exactly.
But you just have to be aware and just be, it's nicer if you go with other people so that, everyone's being aware at the same time.
Okay, well, ladies, I'd like to thank you again for coming on the show and talking about this very serious subject that everybody is kind of thinking about now. Of course, our thoughts and prayers are with those family members who were victimized by this and then those who are impacted by it around the world. Thank you again. You are watching the JoAnne Powell Show. We'll be right back.
If you are an adult that began college and has not finished your college degree, let me put it to you straight. If your lifestyle and your standard of living is not becoming to you, then you should be coming to us, Oakwood University Elite Program. We are the fast, flexible adult degree completion program for the busy adult, like you.
Register today. Go to oakwoodleap.com or call 256-726-7098. It's time to leap.
I'm JoAnne with the JoAnne Powell Show. You're watching the World Center of Broadcast Media, WCOBM Hollywood.
Thanks to Oakwood University and the LEAP program, I have now a college degree. So to the Spanish-speaking members of this community who feel that the LEAP program is something you should consider, I would say, ánimo a la universidad. Considere el programa LEAP de Oakwood University.
Go to oakwoodleap.com or call 256-726-7098.
Seize the Day Scuba for your best scuba experience above and below the sea. You'll find friendly staff, experienced PADI certified instructors, and state-of-the-art scuba equipment and gear. Join our dive club and we'll help you plan memorable scuba excursions. Immerse yourself. Seize the Day Scuba, serving Southern California. Call 949-220-0500 to create your scuba experience.
When I first started into the program, yes, I had doubts. I was really impressed with Oakwood University, with the faculty and the staff and the student body. It was a really good experience, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who was thinking about going back and finishing their degree.
Register today. Go to oakwoodleap.com or call 256-726-7098.